A very good evening. You're watching the main news. Thank you for joining us. I am Tanaka Mienyua.
And I'm Justin Mathata. We are joined by Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk. And these are tonight's top stories.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa says the NUST Technovation Center will transform people's lives.
The center is expected to develop new technologies and solutions for the benefit of communities.
And in business, a huge endorsement for Destination Zimbabwe as close to 100 international travelers flock into the country.
And later on in sport, Chevron's determined to upset Ireland in 3 T20 internationals beginning this Thursday.
That is it for the headlines. We'll now take a look at the news in detail. Chancellor of the National University of Science and Technology, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, kept nearly 3,000 graduates at the institution's 29th graduation ceremony in Bulawayo on Wednesday.
2,996 students were conferred with degrees from various faculties at a colorful NUST graduation ceremony this Wednesday. NUST Vice-Chancellor Professor Mqele Dlodlo highlighted major infrastructural developments taking place at the institution, saying its growth is anchored on its innovation drive.
And with financial support from your government, NUST has made significant progress on infrastructural development projects. With guidance from the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, the university adopted a new model which has seen NUST taking over all construction projects. In a space of 2 years, the university is almost finished constructing the state-of-the-art Technovation Center. Not only that, the new model of construction we adopted saw NUST realizing a savings of over $200,000 on the terrazzo stairs alone through substitution of excessively designed finishes with simple top-class designs.
Beyond the celebratory atmosphere, the ceremony also underscored the vital role NUST plays in shaping the future of Zimbabwe, with the university setting up industries on campus through construction of 8 factory shells.
NUST is setting up industries on campus through construction of 8 factory shells. Working together with Masvingo Polytechnic, we have started constructing one of the factory shells. And by the end of 2024, 2 factory shells will be completed and operationalized. NUST is leading 6 universities in the SADC region working on a World Food Program resilience and livelihoods towards the establishment of a Southern African resilient university network.
The graduates equipped with knowledge and skills are now ready to embark on their careers and make their mark in developing Zimbabwe. Among the graduates was the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, who graduated with a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Development Studies, and ZBC employees Lisa Masugu, Kanyisile Stole and Mtokozi Sidube.
So as I graduate today, my role as a news reporter, I will play a key role in informing the public so that we promote the President's mantra of building the nation.
We do communication in our everyday duties, and from this course I gather I'm going to utilize the expertise that I got in order to ensure that our communication is purposive and achieves an intended purpose.
We'll certainly be sure to put these skills to use so as to bring about development in various spheres of our lives.
Education develops critical thinking, it enhances, it boosts thinking and creativity, hence ilizwe lakhiwa ngabanikazi balo.
I promise that I will serve my nation. I will also spread the word of promoting development programs.
The graduates were drawn from 8 faculties with 5 doctorates, 4 Master of Philosophy degrees, 725 master's degrees, with the rest being bachelor's degrees.
And still in Bulawayo, President Mnangagwa says the National University of Science and Technology's Technovation Center is set to transform people's lives by developing new technologies and solutions that address challenges in various sectors. He was speaking during a tour of the NUST Technovation Center. We'll give you details to that report during the course of the bulletin. Now, in other news, government is crafting strategies to provide low-cost housing units through effective use of technology and available steel resources.
The proposed deal, crafted between the Ministry of National Housing and Amenities and their counterparts in Egypt, will reduce both the time in housing construction and costs by almost half the current prices through effective use of technology. Plans are currently afoot to tap into this window, which will be critical in meeting the country's national housing delivery targets. This was revealed by National Housing and Social Amenities Minister Honorable Daniel Garwe during this week's post-cabinet media briefing.
We saved in the time we spent in building. A standard house of 3 bedrooms will probably cost 6 months to build. A similar house using technology will probably cost a month. Those are the benefits of using the technology. The other benefit is cost measures. You cut cost by almost 50%. And all these applications are being used looking at local materials.
The country will leverage on its massive steel infrastructure plant in Manize, which can be effectively used to support the construction sector. Provision of affordable housing is among top priority areas for the Second Republic, with the country targeting to provide 1 million housing units by 2025.
The Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, has undertaken to consider submissions by captains of industry aspiring from the 2024 national budget proposals.
He, however, stressed that the proposals announced are necessary to propel the national development agenda.
The contentions around the 2024 national budget presented last week, especially on new tax measures which were deemed unjust and exorbitant, presented the Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, with an opportunity to cool off the waters and clarify the fundamental principles guiding his new measures. A post-budget meeting held in Harare this Wednesday, organized by the Chamber of Mines, saw the Treasury Chief highlighting that a country confronted by the harshest economic sanctions but seeking to uplift people's living standards and modernize the economy has to be innovative to fund social protection programs and develop its infrastructure.
So there's a lot of catching up to do in terms of just domestic resource mobilization. And that's what we're trying to do, because there's so much to finance. And so that's critically important. So if you see us scrounge for the last cent here and there, and we're trying to do that because we need the resources. But we'll try to be careful not to squeeze the economy, slow it down through over-taxation. That's critically important. We don't want tax fatigue to come out of our measures in terms of slowing down economic growth.
Permanent Secretary for Finance and Investment Promotion, Mr. George Guvamatanga, weighed in saying, contrary to an uninformed opinion that the budget is anti-poor, the extraordinary measures are progressive.
If you look at when we started the budget processes, there was lots of pressure from the different ministries, departments, and agencies to say we want more money. But what we then have to understand is that Zimbabwe is a country on sanctions. So the only way we can get more money is to actually being able to raise those resources domestically. So we are simply looking at saying what are the areas where we can raise more revenue, generate more income, so that we support the vulnerable and we support the poor. We allocate more resources to social protection nets. We allocate more resources to BEAM.
Captains of industry concurred with Treasury's policy thrust but requested for softening on most of the new key tax measures.
Some of them is obviously the wealth tax that you have heard in terms of the distribution to the informal sector, in terms of tax compliance, making sure that manufacturers are not going to be able to distribute it to the informal sector.
Our expectations and position of the chamber was specifically for government to consider supporting the mining sector during this difficult phase by giving some form of reprieve that reduces cost. This includes possibly the royalty for specific mineral.
Deputy Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, Honorable Kudakwashe Mnangagwa, said the bigger aim is to cushion vulnerable sections of society.
We want to remove the notion that it's an anti-people budget, because as you look at each and every pillar of the tax measures, the ordinary person is either cushioned on the expenditure side, or by policy, the ministry has made sure that the ordinary person is taking care of the farmers. We're saying that there's been nothing to address the farmers, but I think by policy what we've done is I think we've put a proposal to have free import of fertilizer for the farmers and anybody, just so that you can reduce your input costs as well.
The tax measures which triggered debate from the 58 trillion Zimbabwe dollar budget include the 1% property tax, the US 0.02 tax on sugar beverages, 100% hikes in toll fees, motor vehicle registration fees and passport fees, among a host of other contentious measures. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The Beitbridge West community has been implored to vote for the ruling party candidate, Comrade Tusani Ndou, in the December 9 by-elections.
ZANU-PF Vice President and Second Secretary General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga this Wednesday descended on Bishopstone Estate in Beitbridge West to drum up support for the ruling party ahead of Saturday's by-election. Dr. Chiwenga said a win for ZANU-PF will further propel the national development agenda.
Izvi zvakaitwa nyika yese jekerere zvinoita kuti muono wemutungamiri wedu Comrade vanoremekedzwa Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa ufambire mberi muono uyu wegore ra 2030 kuti tinge tapedza urombo munyika, tinge tapedza nzara munyika, tinge tapedza zvirwere munyika, tinge tabudirira kuno kumasaisai avako, mvura yatiri kuchema taona kuti inogadziriswa sei kuti vanhu vaone mvura yekumwa, yezvipfuwo zvavo neyekurimisa. Ndinoda kukukurudzirai kuti musi wa 9 zvita musi wemugovera hatitimuke tose tiende kungoneisa X sepete pana Comrade Tusani Ndou.
With government spearheading the Rural Development 8.0 model, Dr. Chiwenga rolled out a borehole sinking program across the constituency to ensure water availability and establishment of agriculture-related income generation projects.
Beitbridge iri mu Region 5. Hakuna mvura yekumwa kana yekumwiwa nezvipfuwo ishoma. Ndiro dambudziko renyu rekutanga. Naizvozvo pachirongwa chedu chekuisa mvura kuno, ndauya kuno ndichiziva dambudziko renyu iri. Hurumende pasi peuchirongwa chepresidential borehole drilling program yakaedza kuchera maborehole kumawadzi akawanda anosanganisira Mapiri, Maganyani, Chabeta, Mapani neNdambe. Asi kuzhinji kwacho mvura yakashaikwa. Naizvozvo zuva ranhasi ndauya nerigi yeZinwa kuzochera maborehole 10.
Dr. Chiwenga also spoke about government strides and projects underway in the education and healthcare sectors. 9 constituencies will hold by-elections on the 9th of December after the recall of Citizens Coalition for Change legislators by the party's interim Secretary General, Sengezo Shabangu. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
ZANU-PF Vice President and Second Secretary Comrade Kembo Mohadi says the ruling party is the only political institution capable of spearheading development in Matabeleland region under the Second Republic's devolution policy.
Comrade Kembo Campbell Dukish Mohadi descended on Hali Primary School in Magwegwe, Bulawayo, to drum up support for ZANU-PF candidate for Lobengula Magwegwe constituency, Comrade Menzi Wadube. He noted that embracing ZANU-PF is key to development and improvement of livelihoods.
Impumela ka-23 August, the 24 August, ithe yona iZANU-PF yiyo ebusayo, sawina, siyabusa, sisembusweni. Obakwazi ukuthi kona ngawo sifuna ukuhamba labanye khathesi uleyi kulolu khetho lweLobengula Magwegwe. Please vote ZANU-PF. Vote ubaba uDube. Hambanini liyobatshela abanye libachiye emakhaya ukuthi kona ngithe mina. That's where the light is. That's where life is. Vote ZANU-PF. Hilo ibandla elalikhululayo. So abantu abalikhululayo namhla lifuna ukuthi likuba votela kwenze njani pho? Uthwakazo omuhle. Uthwakazo lembeko kanti kwenze njani? I'm calling upon you umdeni wonke womandebeleni ukuthi khona let's pull together, let's work together. In Swahili they say Harambe.
Comrade Mohadi also implored the region to choose parliamentary representatives who are competent to ensure effective representation in the august house.
I've said this time and again. Ezathi ngase sifuna ukwenza ecabinet yethu. Sesidinga ama-ministers. Sibe labantu. Lingasinika abantu bazashona sigijima siswele ukuthi khona singamnika kuphi ngoba ka-qualify. Ngoba ngaze secabinet laphana sokukhulunywa into ezinzima. So the understanding must be wider. He must be somebody that has got a cultivated mind, somebody that went to school.
9 by-elections, including 5 in Bulawayo, will be held this Saturday after Citizens Coalition for Change Interim Secretary General Mr. Sengezo Chabang recalled legislators from Parliament. Sifiso Spanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And we are still in Bulawayo, where President Mnangagwa says the National University of Science and Technology's Technovation Center is set to transform people's lives by developing new technologies and solutions that address challenges in various sectors. The president was speaking during a tour of the NUST Technovation Center.
After conferring degrees to nearly 3,000 graduates this Wednesday, President Emmerson Mnangagwa went on a tour of the university's innovation hub and was impressed by the progress of the project. He noted that the Professor Phineas Makurane Technovation Center will help the country to leapfrog into a knowledge-based economy and be a cog in the realization of sustainable socio-economic development. Last year, President Mnangagwa laid a foundation stone for the construction of the transformative Technovation Center.
Last year, I made a tour of the same center. This time around, it is totally different from what it was last year. A lot of improvements have been done, and it's now very clear as to the vision as to what is going to be done in this hall. Last time when we came, yes, the Vice Chancellor had the vision in his mind, but it was not easy for him to transfer it into my mind. But this time around it was easy. I could see what he had in mind last year. Always said, Nika inovakwa neve nevayo. Science and technology are the instruments which enable us to build our country, and that's the innovation hub, where ideas are removed from the mind, translated into a service or a particular product, and that's the building, the use of the building. That's the way to go.
Collaborations between the university, former students and sister institutions in building the facility within a space of 2 years after independent contractors took 15 years to reach 60% completion before they abandoned the project has been held as a stepping stone towards finding solutions from within institutions in line with the development mantra Nyika inovakwa nevene vayo, ilizwe lakiwa ngabanikazi balo.
It means our students realize that they have a duty to build their motherland. It's a realization that has come late, because during my time in the 50s, we thought that the schools are built by other people and we come in to learn. This has now changed. The younger generation must commit itself to building the institutions they use themselves, because Nyika inovakwa nevene vayo igotongwa nei igona matirwa nei. Hallelujah.
Once complete, the center will be the biggest innovation hub in the country, empowering students and the academia to embrace an innovative mindset. The Technovation Center is expected to play a key role in the implementation of the National Development Strategy 1, NDS1, which aims to achieve rapid, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. The NDS1 identifies innovation and technology as key drivers of economic development, and the Technovation Center is seen as a critical infrastructure project that will support achievement of said targets. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government says it has crafted a response plan to cushion food insecure communities in the wake of the predicted lean season.
After implementation of various agriculture initiatives under the National Development Strategy 1, the number of food insecure people in the country has significantly decreased from 38% to 26%, according to the 2023 Zimbabwe Vulnerability Assessment Committee report. However, given the predicted lean season, 2.7 million people are predicted to be food insecure during the peak hunger period. It is with this in mind that government has already instituted strategies to ensure no one dies of hunger.
A response plan, well informed with the recent outcomes from Zimbabwe assessments, has since been crafted to develop options and determine the actions to be followed in a bid to address challenges imposed by food insecurity. So this gathering is very important, again, as a try run for the challenges that we anticipate will take because of El Nino. Saka madzimambo mukanogadzira izvi zvichauya zveEl Nino zvinotiwana tava pamberi.
Development partners, World Food Programme and UNICEF are partnering government to assist food insecure households, especially in rural communities.
UNICEF is pleased to support the government's lean season mitigation strategy and to work in partnership with our sister UN agencies, including WFP, to harmonise key nutrition interventions to target the most insecure households.
And we need to be on standby to not only provide adequate guidance and support in agricultural activities, but also provide direct food assistance now and in the months and the year to come.
Traditional leaders highlighted the need to step up drought relief programs for both humans and animals throughout the country.
Drought is with us this year. So let's all step up the drought relief program so that we can avoid prolonged shocks.
As the world grapples with the effects of climate change, Zimbabwe has not been spared. Hence, government has instituted the climate-proof Pfumvudza Intrasa program and irrigation development programs to ensure food security. Messi Bof, ZBC News, Mashingo.
And now to our feature report on the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Effective implementation of laws prohibiting gender-based violence has been cited as key to ending the vice.
The government of Zimbabwe is coming up with the necessary legislative and policy framework to deal with gender-based violence, with chairperson of the Women Parliamentary Caucus, Senator May Bimbowa, optimistic that the 10th Parliament will speed up legislation to deal with GBV.
kuwanda kuri kuita nyaya dzezvegender based violence kwakuda kuti tichipindira nekuisa mitemo yakaoma yekuti vanhu varege kuramba vachikomita ende vachitonotongwa. Tine ishu yekuti mazuva ano ukatarisa munhu anongouraya munhu simply because ndarambwa, munhu agouraya munhu simply because ndamuwana ananingi. But tiri kuti zvimwe zvinhu kazvinotaurirwana instead of kuti upinde muzvinhu zvakadaro. Saka tiri kuti tinofanira kuve nemitemo yakasimbarara yekuti munhu atye kuita crime yakadaro.
Legal expert Mr. Moffat Makuvatsine says victims or survivors of gender-based violence can seek recourse through the Domestic Violence Act.
This is an act that should not be misconstrued to say women are favored by the law. It favors everyone in a family setup. And the penal provision or the penalty provision, according to the Domestic Violence Act, provides for the maximum level in respect to a fine.
He, however, noted that most complainants end up withdrawing cases, thereby setting perpetrators free. Gender-based violence is a phenomenon deeply rooted in gender inequality and continues to be one of the most notable human rights violations within societies. Legal experts believe legislation should be strengthened to protect victims of GBV. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
And still with issues to do with GBV, government has reiterated its commitment to combating gender-based violence while also enhancing access to justice for survivors.
Government continues to transform the way the justice delivery systems treat cases that include rape, child sexual exploitation, and other forms of violence against women and girls, while promoting gender equality, social justice, and human rights. In a media briefing in solidarity with the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Honorable Siyambi Siyampi emphasized government's commitment to ending all forms of GBV.
Gender-based violence is a long-standing social issue in our country that disproportionately affects women and girls, rendering them more susceptible to violence and abuse. My ministry recognizes the gravity of this problem and has implemented programs to combat it while enhancing access to justice for GBV survivors. In this regard, it has been our duty as government to ensure that women are treated equally and have the same opportunities as men in all aspects of life. We have worked tirelessly to align our laws and policies with the Constitution and to address gender-based violence and discrimination. We have also focused on increasing women's participation in decision-making processes to address issues, critical issues such as child marriages, gender-based violence, and access to justice for all. Through various legislative reforms and awareness campaigns, we have successfully reduced the prevalence of child marriages and improved the legal framework to ensure the safety and well-being of women and girls. Additionally, we have established specialized courts and support services to provide victims of gender-based violence with the necessary resources and assistance to seek justice.
Among other strategies to eliminate the scourge, government has emphasized women's representation in judicial leadership, mainstreamed disability and health rights in the justice system, and introduced several awareness programs for women to know their rights. Patience Nyagato, Service News, Harare.
We now shift focus to health matters, where the need to explore HIV financing models in Africa took center stage during discussions at the ongoing International Conference on AIDS and STIs in Africa.
Financing the health sector in general and HIV in particular dominated proceedings at the ongoing ICASA 2023. Zimbabwe's Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister, Professor Mthuli Ncube, outlined government strides in financing the health sector.
We currently have in place a 3% HIV levy, which we have ring-fenced and we will maintain. We're committed to that. It will not be removed, not anytime soon, not by anybody. I realize that the HIV has got comorbidities, which turn out to be non-communicable diseases. It's cancer, cardiovascular issues, and so forth and so on. Some of you are experts, you know what I'm talking about. So we thought it necessary, again, to come up with some other ways to fund these the response to these comorbidities. So last year we introduced some sin taxes on cigarettes and on alcohol. This year I've introduced again an additional tax on sugar drinks. Currently the figure is 2 cents per gram of sugar in a can of Coca-Cola. Of course, there's an outcry from manufacturers, oh, it's too expensive and all of that. But the principle is clear. We want to create a cancer fund.
Health and Childcare Minister Dr. Douglas Mwambeshora said his ministry will continue working with various stakeholders to build a resilient health sector and end AIDS by 2030.
The Ministry of Health and Childcare, working closely with health development partners, CBOs and CSOs in general, mounted one of the most successful HIV responses in Africa. Once one of the hardest hit countries by HIV, Zimbabwe has shown the world that determination, smart partnerships at global level and community level using evidence-based interventions are key in combating HIV.
ICASA 2023, which began on Monday and ends on Saturday, provides an opportunity to highlight the challenges and successes of the HIV, hepatitis and STIs responses across Africa, while addressing HIV-STI research and implementation science in the context of wider pandemic preparedness and response. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
For more information, do remember to visit our website www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also connect with us on our X handle at ZBC News Online.
We are also on Facebook, our page at ZBC News Online, and also interact with us by following us on our WhatsApp channel at ZBC News Online. Visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel at ZBC News Online. And here are stories still to expect.
In business, huge endorsement for Destination Zimbabwe as close to 100 international travelers flock into the country.
Later on in sport, the Chevrons determined to upset Ireland in 3 T20 internationals beginning this Thursday. These stories and more after the break.
Nana Rhoda, will you please tell us the story of how you met Papa?
Since it's Christmas, I will give it to you as a Christmas gift.
Aww. Falling in the pool was the time that I realized I fell in love.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
This holiday season, DSTV's got so much great entertainment. You, your family, and your guests will be spoiled for choice.
Always a tremendous atmosphere here. The treble winners are back.
Shoots and scores. This is outstanding.
Celebrate Zimbabwean cuisine.
This is good to know. It doesn't matter who you're hosting.
We're a family. And we can conquer anything.
We've got unbeatable shows for the whole neighborhood to choose from.
This day just got better.
We're more than glad to run your show.
We're actually great. We're really great. I can have my happily ever after. Just a lot. All the time.
We're all about giving you entertainment of your choice and options that suit your family. So stay connected to DSTV for the happiest holidays yet. DSTV, it's your moment.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead. To rise up and achieve. To conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquests. Kung Fu Energy Drink. Master the power.
In the warm embrace of my nurturing mother, I was introduced to her cherished choice of beverage. Through every joy and challenge, it became our go-to. Now that I can make my own choices, I choose to pass on that love to the next generation. I love you, Mom.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Destination Zimbabwe continues to attract global attention, with over 80 employees from an American company visiting Victoria Falls to celebrate the firm's 10th anniversary.
The Second Republic has shown determination to mend Zimbabwe's relations with the international community to normalize relations after more than 2 decades of isolation. The world is already buying into Zimbabwe's narrative, with several groups of international travelers, including travel agents, sports personalities, and international companies flocking to Zimbabwe to sample Africa's finest hospitality. KVG, an American-based international logistic company, is the latest to descend on Destination Zimbabwe with about 85 of its employees for a week-long 10th anniversary celebrations in Victoria Falls.
Experience so far has been absolutely wonderful. Everyone we've met so far has been extremely welcoming. Like, as you can see, we are a very large group.
It's totally different. I mean, I heard many years ago about that Zimbabwe could be a dangerous country, about diseases or something. But it's when on the ground, I saw everything how people are living, and all the conditions, it's totally different.
Zimbabwe and other African countries are portrayed to be dangerous, and as I think from what I've seen being here, it's not a dangerous country. The people are very loving and kind and helpful.
KVG Managing Director Europe, Mr. Thibaut Flament, outlined his company's mission to Zimbabwe.
We're coming here for a full week with all the team from all over the world. We have people from Europe, from Asia, from the US. And we want to come here because it's in Victoria Falls specifically because it's the adventure capital of Africa.
Meanwhile, the team has donated various items such as window panes, doors, and plumbing material, among others, at Monde Primary School outside Victoria Falls. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The commissioning of Phoenix Dam Bridge in the Chizungu area of Mberengwa district this Tuesday is expected to transform the drought-prone district into a vibrant economic hub.
The 268-meter-long Phoenix Dam Bridge in Mberengwa West that connects the community to the main road leading to Zvishavane and Mataga Business Center is set to unlock new economic opportunities in the area. The bridge, which benefits more than 1,000 families in the area, has brought relief to villagers who have been finding it difficult to cross Mwenezi River during the rainy season.
Bridge rotobona rakanaka nokuti izvezvi tichakwanisa kuti tirime marekisheni kana muriwo tichitengisa nokuti taisigwa chinhu chakanaka zvokuti
nguva yese vana vechikoro tichivamuka tichienda kuchikoro taitambura saka tinotenda kuti bridge ratibatsirawo.
Bridge ratibatsira pane zvakawanda kuyambuka hove tinodzionawo nemvura yemombe ichiwana.
Government is confident the Phoenix Dam Bridge will provide several benefits to the local community and the district in terms of poverty alleviation and food security.
This significant structure serves a dual purpose, acting both as a dam, wall, and a bridge, symbolizing the remarkable synergy of development and innovation. This is in line with the Rural Modernization and Transformation Trust of the Second Republic, following His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's mantra of leaving no one and no place behind.
Infrastructure development remains central to the development agenda of the Second Republic, as espoused by the National Development Strategy 1 NDS1. Karijushe, ZBC News, Mberengwa.
The Public Service Commission has embarked on a robust recruitment exercise targeting young unemployed graduates to ensure the civil service is staffed by a highly motivated and competent workforce.
The PSC organized a job fair in Harare this Wednesday targeting graduates aged between 19 and 30 years of age. Graduates who managed to place their curriculum vitae praised the initiative adopted by government, describing it as fair, adding it gives them an opportunity to work for their country and contribute to national development.
Process yavaita maybe vachatipo mabasa nekuona neuwandu hwevanhu vauya kuzotsvaka mabasa zvoreva kuti vanhu vakadzidza vakagara mudzimba.
Takaita media studies for journalism kunzwa kufara chezvinhu chirongwa chachiripo muzuva ranhasi because tawana mukana wekuapply mabasa.
The PSC says the job fair seeks to ensure the civil service is manned by highly motivated and efficient workforce in line with the vision to achieve an upper middle income society by 2030.
I think it is exciting today that we see the numbers of graduates here, but also the bigger numbers of women. I'm also very excited to state that I have seen in critical skills areas a number of women engineers, a number of female ICT engineers, women in agriculture.
We need to perform a very key function of identifying citizens, personnel, the skills and competencies that fit into the performance of certain tasks within the entirety of the public service.
Thousands of graduates attended the job fair, while all government ministries were represented.
The people of Lupane East constituencies say they are ready to vote for a development-oriented parliamentary representative on Saturday.
ZANU-PF supporters who attended a mobilization rally at Masai Business Center in the Lupane district this Wednesday expressed readiness to vote for their preferred candidate on the December 9 by-elections.
Isikhangelele amavoti ka-MP usiphathisiwe.
Simvotela ngoba umntwana we-ZANU-PF njalo simvotela ukwana ayesimela eParliament.
ZANU-PF leadership and aspiring candidate implored party supporters to come out in their numbers to vote on Saturday.
ZANU-PF isikhwama esikhulu kasigcwali. Akunamuntu oza kujikela zojoyina iZANU-PF. Asivoteleni uphathisiwe. Asivoteleni iZANU-PF. Labo baba labontanga ahambeni siyalungisa udaba loloyana. Ngale mbethu ngithe islogan story
yiso kumbongo Triple C kumbongo NDC kumbongo eZAPU yekela lokho ofuna ukuthi ulandelise ngoba asokukuphumele asoziphumelele ende kuyabisela isigaba sakho pha emuva asisebenzeni ngokumanyana asisebenzeni ngokuthandana.
Comrade Patisiwe Ncube Machangu of ZANU-PF and the duo of Mr. Breton Vanyamoyo and Mr. David Nyati from Citizens Coalition for Change Triple C are the three candidates vying for the Lupane East constituency seat. 9 by-elections are slated for the 9th of December to fill vacancies created by the recall of Triple C legislators by the party's interim Secretary General Sengezo Chabangu. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
Now, in similar news, Mavugu Tafara constituency candidates for this Saturday's by-elections are confident of clinching the ticket to Parliament, riding on the tangible projects they are pursuing in the area.
With a few days left before the Mavugu Tafara electorate cast their votes to choose their National Assembly representatives, candidates are on the ground canvassing for support, riding on developmental work.
Our community targets, our community programs are still ongoing. Like here we are standing in Chijanje Way. We are upgrading the sewer system with our local councillors. Basically, we have got, as Triple C, we come up with a 100-day plan in our first 100 day into office through the current mayor who is there. But this project started way back when Jacob Mafima was still the mayor and I was still the councillor, but it was disturbed during the election.
ZANU-PF candidate Comrade Pedzai Sakupanya is upbeat of victory after spearheading provision of water through bore singing sprucing up road infrastructure and refuse collection.
Indiri mushandi wao wavari kutuma kuparliament. Wandisa kuparliament vanenge vachindudza zvavari kuda kuti ndinotaura kupi kuparliament. Zvizhinji tichazvigadzirisa watiisa muparliament. Zvakawanda zvoda kugadziriswa muno mumabvukutafara. Vakatarisa kwatiri kufamba kwese masewage, city council yazvitadza. Vakatarisa mvura chaiyo. Iyo city council yazvitadza futi. Saka zvese zvozoda kuzvigadzirisa.
Mabvukutafara is among the 9 constituencies set to hold by-elections on Saturday after recalls of legislators by Citizens Coalition for Change Interim Secretary General Sengezo Chawangu. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Local authorities have been put on notice to implement targets set out in the recently launched service delivery blueprint.
The Local Authority Service Delivery Blueprint, launched by President Emmerson Mnangagwa early last month, is a compass to address some of the bottlenecks that have shortchanged ratepayers over the past 2 decades. Central government is now coordinating implementation of the blueprint after convening a meeting with mayors, town clerks, and rural district council chief executive officers in Harare this Wednesday. Government expects positive impact within the short to medium term.
We had a meeting last week on Friday with finance directors of urban authorities. We are having another meeting tomorrow with finance managers of rural district councils to ensure that everybody is fully aware of the blueprint. And the blueprint obviously has implications on the budget in terms of preparations on the budget to make sure that they're compliant with the blueprint and also to understand the review mechanism and process of the budget.
The roadmap set by the blueprint has jolted local authorities' leadership to action with expectations of improved service delivery going forward.
Well, it's very important that central government set out a blueprint which is a national guide. That is the basis for the entire country. And so we will work within that blueprint, and we obviously welcome it.
All local authorities, be it urban or rural, should be whipped into the line to the national cause to make sure every other resident, be it rural or urban, have a service. They are delivering service from the local authorities.
To ensure sustainability of this approach, government has also tasked local authorities to develop master plans that feed into the vision to attain an upper middle income society by 2030.
Negotiations continue at the ongoing United Nations Climate Change Conference, with various mitigation strategies being put forward. One of the strategies includes limiting warming to the 1.5 degree mark emissions by 2030.
Amid all the noise around the COP28 climate talks here in Dubai, it can be easy to lose sight of the negotiations and the co-legal processes. This process often fades into the background, hidden from sight in closed-door negotiating rooms and the late-night sessions where negotiators and ministers hash out their disagreements. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Professor Prosper Matondi, walks us through some of the highlights of the negotiations of the last couple of days.
There is a cocktail of issues that are also being negotiated. That includes the just transition, issues to do with, in a broad sense, mitigation, issues towards reaffirmation of the 1.5 degrees by 2030, issues related that are probably relatively new, such as the agri-food security and agroecology, which are quite important for Zimbabwe. And I'm happy that Zimbabwe has pushed that agenda during the heads of state. The issue around gender was also put back on the main agenda, and we are very happy with that.
Cleaner technologies have also come to the table for negotiations. As COP28 heads towards the climax, negotiations will prove to be challenging given all the demands and expectations on the table. Question now is, will it be a COP of action or another political front by developed nations? Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Dubai.
Protecting trees as a way of mitigating climate change dominated proceedings at the Masvingo Province National Tree Planting Day commemorations held in the Chiredzi district.
The tree planting day was marked by the planting of 1,600 trees at Gurungwene High School in Chiredzi South constituency. The move is meant to ensure communities who live in dry parts of the country play an active role in combating climate change.
This is a true sign of commitment to the environmental cause. As people who have their country at heart, it is important to protect our environment and where our natural capital lies. Our natural resources are found in our environment. The trees and forests are important as we derive our livelihood from them.
The commemorations come at a critical time when some areas in Chiredzi district have lost significant forests due to deforestation.
25 million trees takapa nzvimbo tichienderana nekuoma kwakaita masingo province takangodhimanda yatinoti muchirungu a paltry 1 million trees.
Local leadership in Chiredzi district pledged to play a leading role in encouraging communities to plant trees and conserve forests.
Kudyarwa kwemiti chitsvambe kunharaunda kusanganisira masabhuku namadzishe edu nokuti miti upenyu.
Nyamuta seitatisisiwe ekuwatanisa khoti futi zvinhu leswi ingatipana ngopfu ni kumile imwe weyo yokufamba yona semasabhuku please hamba mabwela vanhu van'wina ekumusinya yale ingale munganayo mungatsemeleli ekoku swilo switafamba kahle.
Experts have described trees as the first line of defense in fighting climate change. Hence, governments drive to promote tree planting countrywide. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
The ongoing Israeli-Palestine war has claimed more than 16,000 Palestinians, including more than 4,000 children.
Palestinian ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Tamar al-Masri's mother, was killed in the latest attacks on Tuesday.
The attacks on the Gaza Strip by Israel have also targeted refugee camps, hospitals, and places of worship, thereby paralyzing places where displaced people can get assistance. In an interview with ZBC News in Harare this Wednesday, Palestinian ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Tamar al-Masri, described the ongoing attacks on his motherland as clear genocide supported by Western and colonial powers.
I will not call it as a war because it's full genocide, full Israeli genocide supported by the Americans and the British with some colonial powers. The Israelis don't do any crime without clearance, permission, and full support from the Americans and the British government.
Tuesday's airstrikes killed scores of Palestinians, including the ambassador al-Masri's mother.
As you know that I lost my mother yesterday by Israeli airstrike. My mother, she was here in Zimbabwe and she has, by the way, residence in Zimbabwe, diplomatic residence in Zimbabwe. And even in a brotherly and friendly way, she is familiar with some of our comrades and friends in the government and the political parties, ZANU-PF, our friends, our great friends. So what did happen? That the Israeli apartheid regime target our civilians, our children, our women. Until now, we have 16,000 Palestinian martyrs who were killed. 75% of them are women and the children. Now my mother, one of them.
Global progressive forces have called for ceasefire and an end to attacks on the Gaza Strip, where Israel has blocked the entry of humanitarian aid, including water, fuel, and food. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
From the story, we take a break. To join us for more after this break.
Mama, today I'm about to embark on the next chapter of my life. You've been by my side every step of the way. Through the late nights and endless studying, you always believed in my dreams. And as I start my new journey and my new career, I want to thank you for helping me make the right choice. To the women who never gave up on me, thank you, Mom. Merry Christmas.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
Stallone Consultancy, Management and Training Consultants, Private Limited. Stallone Consultancy, your management and training consultants offer Diploma in Payroll Management, Diploma in Human Resources Management, Diploma in Taxation, Diploma in Conciliation and Arbitration. We are also experts in salary structuring, salary surveys, strategic plans, and job evaluation. For more details, contact us on 0242 275 7281 or visit our website on www.stallone.co.zw.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
Welcome back. Now in business, biogas energy continues to transform and empower rural communities, with institutions and households adopting the clean energy source in the wake of dwindling forests.
A local biogas energy company, Landforce Energy, organized a stakeholders' biogas conference to establish milestones so far achieved and ways of expanding the adoption and adaptation to biogas. Users have testified that the renewable energy source has improved their living standards while contributing positively to environmental preservation.
Chinhu chakanaka kumarizevha, vana vedu nemadzimai edu anga achitambudzika kutakura masvingo ehuni. Mavainotsvaga huni imomo, vamwe vairepwa.
Biogas yakanaka nokuti taitsvaga huni, taitsvaga uswa tabva kumunda. Iye zvino handisiko ikoko. Ndakundotora machisi yangu ndine 4-place stove ndongoti kete kwe.
Biogas yakanakira kuti i-clean cooking. Zvese zvekuswera muchisuka mapoto ane matsito kana kuswera muchienda kuhuni muchinorwadziwa nekutsvaga huni muchimarwa muchibayiwa neminzwa muchiita kunge mucharumwa nenyoka hakusisina.
Munharaunda medu mataisombotsvaga huni tichakwanise kuwana huni mapera kutemwa. Tikada kuti tite dzekutenga dzachadzilast. Saka isusu zvedigester takatona zvichitotibatsira zvakanyanya.
Landforce Chief Executive Officer Mrs. Judith Marera Conke Biogas Energy has transformed rural communities and encouraged its uptake.
We have partnered with various organizations in trying to empower women for the adoption of clean cooking using our biogas solutions. We have reached out through communities, local chief heads, other DCs, just to make sure that the women have got the information regarding clean cooking and the uptake of renewable energy in the country.
Government is determined to work with the private sector in spearheading the biogas energy development.
What the ministry is doing is facilitating and training Mansons who are the builders, who will then go to the communities and start building biogas digesters. These digesters, they come in different sizes, and then what the ministry then does is whenever the construction of biogas digesters is carried out, the ministry officials will then come in and do quality control.
Biogas uses biomass from cattle, goats, pig, and chickens to feed the biogas plant, and these are readily available in rural communities. Government has set a target of generating 275 megawatts of biogas electricity by 2030. Owen Mandova, ZBC News. Harare.
And that's all we had in business. Up next is sport, but first we take a break.
I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look bright. I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look clean. Tell you why they smell so nice. I'm feeling fresh, you know what I mean. It's got a little bit of oxy bleach with a nice perfume that will leave your clothes looking rich and have you feeling good. Aloha, yeah. Aloha. You need to try Aloha.
Aloha washing powder. Say hello to fresh.
The Civil Registry Department wishes to advise its valued clients that it has extended its working hours in the passport section with immediate effect. The passport offices will be open Monday to Friday, 0700 hours to 1900 hours during weekdays and from 0800 hours to 1500 hours on Saturdays. This is in response to an increase in the number of clients visiting our passport offices. The festive season is the busiest period for the department. With industry and schools closed and returning citizens from the diaspora taking advantage of their visit to have their documents processed, the department witnesses an influx of clients visiting its passport offices. Moreover, the recent announcement by the government in relation to the proposed increase of passport fees with effect from the 1st of January 2024 has also contributed to clients rushing to apply for passports before the deadline. In this regard, the department is extending its operating hours to facilitate efficient e-passport services in response to the high demand. Members of the public are therefore advised to take note of the following passport offices countrywide: Harare Passport Registry, Bulawayo Provincial Registry, Chinoi Provincial Registry, Gwanda Provincial Registry, Gweri Provincial Registry, Lupane Provincial Registry, Marondera Provincial Registry, Bedbridge District Registry, Chipinge District Registry, Chitungwiza District Registry, Wange District Registry, Murewa District Registry, Mazowe District Office, Mwenezi District Registry, Zhishavane District Registry. Clients who intend to apply for their e-passports are encouraged to visit any of the above listed offices with their original birth certificate, national identity document ID, and marriage certificate where applicable. The Civil Registry Department offers the following e-passport categories: ordinary passport, $120 issued after 7 working days; emergency or express passport, $220 United States issued after 48 hours. The Civil Registry Department is committed to improving service delivery in line with Vision 2030 through timely issuance of travel documents.
Thank you so much, time now for sport, and thank you so much rather for staying with us. The Zimbabwe national cricket team, the Chevrons, are determined to put up a good show when they take on Ireland in 3 T20 internationals beginning this Thursday at the Harare Sports Club.
Zimbabwe will be playing in their first series after failing to qualify for the International Cricket Council 2024 T20 World Cup. Ahead of the series, Jeff Horton has decided to give new players an opportunity after including 2 uncapped players in Brian Bennett and Trevor Gwandu in the squad. Betting all-rounder Tony Munyonga and leg spinner Brendan Mafuta have been recalled, while Tendai Chatara, Nick Welsh, Wellington Masakaza and Innocent Kaya have been dropped after dismal tour of Namibia. A senior player and former captain Craig Evan has dedicated the series to the fans.
I think it's very important. Obviously, the last few weeks have been really difficult, I think, for everybody, you know, not just players. I think the organisation and the supporters, I think the whole country has been quite disappointed. So the timing of this series, I think, is perfect. It's been a very quick turnaround. There hasn't been a lot of time to dwell on things as such. So you know, for us to come out and put in some really good performances in this series is vitally important, I think, to lift the country's morale and also the team.
Despite Zimbabwe seemingly limping, Ireland are not taking their horse lightly.
Yeah, look, certainly for us, I think it's a fresh start. I think first and foremost, look, it was disappointing that we weren't there, but to be honest, I think we've got over that. It's been quite a long time since we've been in Zimbabwe for the qualifiers and missed out and didn't have our best time. So I think in both formats, it's a bit of a fresh start, a new start for our players, and sort of a building phase for us. We've got a World Cup not too in the too distant future.
Ireland have never won a T20 series in Zimbabwe. The matches will start this Thursday with an evening game that commences at 6 p.m. at Harare Sports Club. The other two matches slated for Saturday and Sunday will start at 1 p.m. Lawrence Trusila, ZBC News, Harare.
It's now time for the weather report and forecast.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's weather report and forecast. My name is Baba Maketa. Partly cloudy conditions were experienced over the southern and extreme western parts of the country. However, the central and eastern parts of the country remained mostly sunny and hot. And for the forecast tomorrow, we're expecting cloudy conditions over the western parts, extreme western parts of the country, as well as the extreme eastern parts of the country. However, the central parts should also remain mostly sunny and hot. And for the temperatures in detail, we're expecting Harare to have a maximum of 34 and a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius, Bulawayo 35 and 19, Gweru 34 and a minimum of 16, Mutare 31 and 15, Kwekwe 36 and a minimum of 15, Kadoma 36 and a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius. Masvingo should have a maximum of 32 and a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius, Chinhoyi 35 and 19, Lupane 39 and 17, Pindura 33 and 19, Marunda 32 and a minimum of 18, Gwanda 34 and a minimum of 22 degrees Celsius. Our major holiday resort areas, Victoria Falls, should have a maximum of 35 and a minimum of 22, and we are also expecting isolated thunder showers in the later hours of the day in Victoria Falls, Kariba 39 and 26, Great Zimbabwe 33 and 18, Nyanga 26 and a minimum of 12, Matopos 37 and 14, Chimanimani 27 and a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius. And for our outlook, we're expecting cloudy conditions to persist, especially in the morning hours of the day over the eastern parts of the country. However, the western parts should be mostly sunny and temperatures should continue soaring to the hot category. Thank you, Zimbabwe. That's all from the weather desk. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
And that's all we had for you from the news desk. Have a good night.